getting you ready for Sacramento Kings basketball.
He's got the bucket!
Game night is presented by Power Business Technology, your locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Contact them at 844-POWER-BZ or visit them at powercopiers.com. Here's your host, Scott Marsh, alongside the high flyer, Henry Turner.
And a very pleasant good evening to you. Welcome into game night right here. Sacktown Sports, 1140. Scott Marsh along with the high flyer, Henry Turner. Kings and Warriors tonight. It doesn't get much bigger in the regular season. The season finale between these Kings and Warriors. Boy, the Warriors are playing great basketball right now. Since they've got Jimmy Butler, they are 12-1. And for the Kings, well, we know it's been a bit of a swoon here. The heartbreaker in LA on Sunday night, compounded with that blowout loss to the Knicks on Monday night. The Kings reeling a little bit, but they're still right there, still right in the heart of the play-in situation, and certainly not out of a playoff opportunities. We set things up tonight as these teams will match up at the Chase Center. Scott Marshall with the high flyer, Henry Turner. Henry, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good, Scott. I will say this about the Golden State Warriors. I did not think Jimmy Buckets coming to the Golden State Warriors, being an addition, was going to make them be that much better.
Yeah.
You know, I knew he was going to be, an addition. You know, you take Wiggins away and you put Jimmy Butler in that position, but I didn't think they were going to be 12-1 type good.
They've been amazing. And obviously Jimmy Buckets, when he's motivated, we know how good he is. We know the destructive Jimmy Butler, but we know the good one too. And he is ready to make another playoff run with these Golden State Warriors. And obviously Steph, Draymond, this whole team's believing right now.
You know, you always is going to be in the hunt when you have a Steph Curry. I didn't think Draymond and Jimmy would be able to coincide in the same building, but I think it's a situation of this right now. I think all of those guys know that this is a last-ditch effort. You know, this is the last hoorah, you know, because Jimmy Buckets then been through a ton of teams, right? And Draymond them seeing what it looked like when they didn't have the services of a player like JB. So right now, you guys together, you have it, you better make the best of it because it might not be here for long.
For sure. We want to hear from you. Big night here. We'll be with you until 6:30. Get you ready for Kings Live pregame. Tip tonight, 7 o'clock. It's the fourth meeting between these two teams. Tiebreakers are on the line, too. The Kings can win the overall season series tonight with a win, and that would be absolutely huge.
Yeah, it would. I mean, Kings need every win that they can get.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they're getting the advantage on the series or not, they need this W.
They do. Kings 33-31. We'll break it all down, but there are some other breaking news, and I didn't hear the end of you guys with the Drive guys. Did you cover De'Aaron Fox?
I think I heard it with them.
Yep, undergoing season-ending surgery.
He's shutting it down.
He is. After having that huge game last time out, he went for 32 points, had 11 assists, 9 rebounds.
Well, I'm glad that didn't show up at Golden 1.
Yeah.
But, you know, I kind of felt like it was going to be that when Wemby shut it down. And, you know, De'Aaron does have an existing ailment that he's been trying to play through. So, you know, if you're not playing for anything, why not? I mean, shut it down and go ahead and get your surgery and, you know, use this other time to just get well.
That's what happened. San Antonio got a win. It was just too much to take.
That's funny.
The Spurs couldn't take that.
That's funny.
So he did mention, to your point, when he came to Sacramento, he was going to have it looked at in LA. And according to the story that's breaking, he's going to have surgery Tuesday in Los Angeles. They repaired the tendon injury on his left pinky finger. And we could see it was affecting him here in Sacramento, no doubt about it.
Yeah, because he had up and down games, but he was trying to play through it. So, you know, but we were trying to play to get to the playoffs. But that's not his same type of situation in San Antonio. San Antonio's not going anywhere.
No.
And at this particular point, I don't even think they want to go anywhere.
They don't. Yeah.
You know, they're trying to set it up. So you can't go to your player and say, hey, look, you know, don't play your hardest. But you can go to your player and say, you know what? You got an injury? Okay, we're going to shut you down. You go take care of that injury, and whatever happens on the floor happens on the floor.
Yeah, Spurs 10 games under 500, 27-37. They're 12th in the Western Conference. They are not in a spot to, well, they are in a spot. I should back up on that because the Mavs are 33-34. They beat Dallas last time out, so they're only 3 games back in the loss column for that 10th seed. But to your point, they would rather have the lottery pick than they play in.
To squeeze in to the 10th seed.
Yep.
You know, if you want to look at it in the overall scheme of things, of course they want that pick more so than to go to the 10th seed and get knocked out in one game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, let's focus back in on the Kings. We'll have a full injury report coming up to you later in the show. We do know that Domantas Sabonis, although he did work out with the team yesterday, will not play in tonight's game. We'll dump into all of that. But Henry, first of all, we've had 3 days now to digest what happened Monday night at Golden One Center. It didn't sit well on Monday. It still doesn't sit well now. What's the takeaway from that game Monday night?
You got beat by a good basketball team that's playing on a whole total different level than what you're playing on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the New York Knicks came out and just had their way with the Kings. And I'm not even talking about offensively. I'm talking about on the defensive side. Yeah. You know, I talked about it with the Drive guys. I felt like the way New York picked guys up, you had the point guards picking up full court.
Mm-hmm.
You had the big guy picking his man up at half court. It wasn't one of those situations. Usually big guys run up under the rim and they wait for their guy to come down and they meet him. No, Mitchell Robinson was picking up JV as soon as he came over the half court line. That was just pressure on the ball, whether he had it or not. That was just putting pressure on the Sacramento Kings team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Their starters, which play a ton of minutes, they were great. They had a couple of days off. We know the Kings came off the back-to-back, the overtime in L.A. No excuses, doesn't matter. The Knicks were great. They didn't have Jalen Brunson, but I tell you what, Miles McBride, and it was fun. It wasn't fun. It was interesting to hear the Deuce chants. I'm sure Deuce liked it. He had a fabulous start to that game. He felt like Jalen Brunson in that first quarter. He had 15 points. He was 6 of 6 from the field. He really set a tone.
You know, Scott, you always hear me say, don't let it be you.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot afford to let a night pass to where you don't have Jalen Brunson out there on the floor. So that should be a plus for you as the opposition. But you mean to tell me you're going to let a guy come off the bench and have a Brunson-type night? That's asinine.
Yeah, no doubt. And the Kings just haven't played well against New York. They got blown out there in New York, gave up 143 in the game at Madison Square Garden. Obviously losing on Monday night, 133-104. Collectively, 276 points given up against the Knicks.
I mean, Scott, that's why I said, you know, you played against a ball club that is definitely out of your league. We've seen it in New York, and we've seen it here. It was the exact same thing. And it's the way they play. It's the way Tibbs demands his team to play. It's the way Doug wants his basketball team to play.
Yeah.
It's the right way to play basketball, but you got to have those guys that are willing to do exactly those things.
Yeah, and right now the Kings just aren't that team.
They're not getting it done like that defensively. You know, on certain nights we get it done offensively that way. You know, the Kings look extraordinarily good on offense on certain nights. But what New York has is that their staple is on the defensive end.
Yeah.
So even on nights to where the offense isn't clicking that good, their defense helped them win games.
Oh, but their offense was clicking.
Oh, yeah.
54% from the field, 55% from beyond the arc. It was their best three-point shooting night of the year. They beat the Kings up every way you could possibly look at it.
But, Scott, they played old school basketball. They didn't start out knocking down threes. Now, they knocked down threes as the game progressed, but early on, it was drive to the basket, cut to the basket. Mm-hmm. Guys were getting back cuts. Guys were, getting to the rim, scoring. And then when they start driving, start kicking them out, they start knocking down shots. But they started with the ball going to the basket.
They did. They were terrific. And so the Kings now sliding a little bit with those two losses. We know the schedule doesn't get any easier. It's another back-to-back as they take on Phoenix tomorrow. The teeth of this schedule is really showing up right now.
Yep. The meat and potatoes are hitting. Think about this. Just last week, we were talking about the Kings being a half a game back maybe a whole game back from 6.
Yep.
Now, all of a sudden, some separation has hit. And we knew this time was coming, Scott. We was talking about it early on, saying, hey, you better get your stuff together because this crunch time is coming and it's coming quickly. And now we're here. Every game means big-time significance.
Yeah, it's huge tonight. Obviously, it's not just a rivalry game with playing the Warriors. Of course, it is that, but it's a lot more tonight. It's a Western Conference game. It's a Pacific Division game. It's a game where tiebreakers are on the line. And obviously, it's a Warriors team that is really peaking right now. They're currently in the 6th spot, 37-28, as we've mentioned, 12-1 since making the trade for Jimmy Butler. They're trying to secure a playoff spot for the Kings. They want to at least get into a 7-8 seed. They're currently 1 game behind the Clips, but don't have any tiebreakers against them. They're 3 games back in the loss column. Minnesota playing good ball. They're 38-29 currently in that 7th spot. All right, we've set the scene here for game night. When we come back, we'll continue to break this thing down. We'll go around the league. Of course, we've got the Lakers and the Bucks in action right now. We'll get you updated on that and all the other scores as well. It's game night, and it's brought to you by our good friends over at Howard Gumbo. They're open right now, High Flyer. Thursdays and Fridays, 11 to 8. Saturdays, Sundays, 2 to 8. We're going to have to do a Howard Gumbo catering for game night here.
Oh, yeah. And Larry, coming to see you, bruh. Have my fish ready.
And I feel bad. He was at the game on Monday night. We set him up, and it wasn't the best game for him to come experience the Kings.
Hey, but you know, it's the NBA game, bro.
He still had a good time.
Yeah, you better have a good time. You got a chance to watch some of the best basketball around.
No doubt. Unfortunately, a lot of those players were in blue and orange.
That's all right. You watched good basketball.
You did indeed. All right. Game night's coming back right here. Sacktown Sports, 1140.
All right, we are live on YouTube.
Anthony, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am good. I'm just back from Vegas.
Wow.
I was down there for the Big West Conference tournament. The Aggie season ended last night.
I
Crashed
did hear
it.
about that.
It felt like the Knicks game on Monday night in the second half for the Ags.
Yeah,
They were up 9 at halftime.
I heard.
Ended up losing by 10. They were down by close to 20 in that second.
Who'd you guys play?
Cal Poly.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Pomona?
Mustangs. No, Cal Poly slow.
Okay.
San Luis Obispo.
Got you.
Yeah. So their season is done. Good year for Jim Les and company, but it is over, and it's time to turn our attention solely to the Kings right now. So what do we got going on in the chat?
Right now, I think people are just excited for some basketball. You know, it's always fun when we play the Warriors, especially in Golden State, and I think that's what's going on right now. Something interesting that I heard. I don't know if you guys heard it. Obviously, Kuminga's playing. Kuminga's back, but he's on a minutes restriction.
Yeah, he's about 20 minutes is what
that's exactly
being
what
reported.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I just read that. But other than that, yeah, I'm just excited for the game. I'm still waiting for an update on Trey Lyles.
Okay, yep. And has there been one on LaRavia yet?
LaRavia is available.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Sabonis out, LaRavia in.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, as we know, minus the exception of Trey Lyles, is in as well.
Yes.
Correct. Okay, little tease for our Ginger and Hammer report. High Flyer. All right, Kuminga coming back into the mix for the Warriors. Obviously, they're playing great basketball. You always get better when you have good players returning. But is it an interesting mix type thing right now with the way the Warriors are going?
I'm wondering how he's going to fit in and where he's going to fit, because this isn't the same team that Kuminga left.
Right. Totally different.
It's a total different squad. So, want to know how he's going to be integrated back, how they're going to use him. That's going to be one of the big things for Steve Kerr. Yeah,
no doubt. And we'll see how quickly he can get acclimated, as we said, on a minutes restriction. But we know this guy, he can play.
Oh, no doubt. Has talent, and if you're Steve Kerr, that's a good problem to have. How are you going to integrate this very talented young guy on your basketball team? Well, you find ways.
He's playing for a lot right now, because not just is he playing to help the Warriors try and get into playoffs, he's playing for himself. He's a restricted free agent at the end of the year. The Warriors did not sign him going into the season, so he'll have a chance to test the free agent market.
Now, see, that was very peculiar.
I thought so too. Yeah.
That for some reason they didn't sign him, because he's a very good talent, and I thought he's the parent to Draymond Green.
Yeah.
but why are you holding back from signing him? Because, Draymond isn't a spring chicken. He's going to be on his way out after a while.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were surprised that they didn't make the deal. Maybe they thought the value wouldn't be as much right now as it was. And I guess maybe based on how he comes back from his ankle, maybe that's the case. But I do feel like he's going to get some great offers.
You know what? No doubt. I think he'll get great offers too. But, Scott, this kind of goes back to the Luka Doncic thing.
Mm-hmm. Right, save on that. We'll get to it when we come back. Welcome back to the game night right here, Sacktown Sports 1140. Some great conversation on our YouTube chat during the break. You can always join us there. Watch us online at Sacktown Sports. You can call us 916-339-1140. Game night rolls along. We'll be with you until 6:30 tonight. Kings Live pregame. And then the tips 7 o'clock tonight. My good friend Rich Ficker giving me his condolences. San Diego State, of course, in the Mountain West Conference, losing to Boise State today. We were talking about UC Davis. Their season's over with. They lost in the Big West tournament last night to Cal Poly. Thanks to Jim Les being with us every week, the former King and, of course, head coach of the Aggies. Always great to work with him. All right, let's follow up on our conversation from the chat. We were talking about Kuminga and how he fits in, and the Warriors did not elect to sign him. They had the opportunity to extend the contract with Kuminga in his fourth year, so he automatically becomes a restricted free agent at the end of the year. So they rolled the dice a little bit. Now we'll see what kind of interest Kuminga gets.
Scott, I thought it was very peculiar that they didn't re-sign Kuminga. They had put him in the starting lineup. He was playing very well for them, and then they elected not to extend him.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like the same thing with Luka Doncic, to where Golden State knows something.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that they know that they're not putting out.
Yeah.
Because it's a reason why you don't sign that dude. I mean, he's a legitimate NBA player. He's young. He's athletic.
Tremendous upside. Definitely
thought he was going to be the parent to Draymond Green. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you sign him? Something else is going on. I felt the same way. I mean, the whole world was up in awe when Dallas traded Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
And probably was a bad trade. But at the end of the day, Dallas knows something that the rest of us don't. You just don't make a call like that without having some type of substantial reason for doing so.
You would certainly think so, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I mean, and again, I don't know the insides on that.
I don't either.
But the ownership could have simply said, you know what, we don't want to pay somebody $350 million.
True that, but still, they're going to have to pay it to somebody because that's the way the league is going. Yeah. But what I'm saying, though, Scott,
right?
It had to be, they know something. Mm-hmm. Nico Harris knows something else about Luka that the rest of us don't.
They may. It doesn't make
Ain't no may, for sure.
And I'm not arguing with you, but it doesn't make them right.
No, it don't make them right. No, I never said it did. I'm just saying that for them not to pull the trigger on probably the next face of the NBA, it's something they know that we don't know.
Absolutely. And that's why nobody can believe they made the trade.
Right.
Because nobody else knows it. So.
Oh, but it will come out.
Yeah, we'll see. Time will tell, of course. Kind of extending our conversation a little bit further. Now we're just speculating, but, Keegan Murray is going to be in his fourth year next year. They picked up the player option for next year. So Keegan will be here for sure. Do you think there's any chance that the Kings and Keegan don't work out an extended deal before the season starts next year? We're in a similar situation with Keegan that the Warriors are with Kuminga right now.
I would think so, though. By now if the Kings want to go long-term with Keegan Murray. Yeah.
I would think the answer is yes.
Hey, Keegan Murray ain't left the starting lineup since he came here.
Right.
Yeah. And he's still a big part of what we're doing. So, yeah, you would think that they want to extend Keegan Murray and, make him a long part of what we're doing. Really? I mean, almost, I could pretty much say the face. Yeah. Who's the face of our team now? Who's the number one guy?
I think Sabonis is. I think the heart and soul is Monk.
I'm gonna say, is it Sabonis? Is it
Mhm.
Zach? Is
Yeah.
it DeMar? Because
Right.
really, all three of those guys aren't the youngest.
Right.
So, you would definitely want to start looking at your future saying, okay, well, when these guys, let's say, just 2-3 years down the line, who's going to be the one to step in when they leave? You're looking at Keegan Murray.
Right. He's the youngest for sure. I mean, the Kings are not a young team anymore. Zach just turned 30. Obviously, DeMar is 36. Monk's been in the league for a while. I mean, so that's a great question. And again, it brings up an interesting point because Sabonis is probably your best all-around player. Your go-to guy late is certainly DeMar or Zach.
Right. And then here's another plus in Keegan's cap.
Mhm.
It's not like he asked for $300 million.
No.
Okay.
But it'll be interesting to see what he might be asking
but
for,
I'm just saying,
right?
It's not like what's happening to Dallas to where Luka need 300.
No, the finances aren't the same.
Keegan's not going to demand $300 million.
No, but it'll be interesting to see if they can come to an agreement before next year comes along.
I would put it this way: we don't know either way.
No, we don't.
I would hope so.
I would think so. As for Kuminga, again, how the Warriors choose to use him, we know he's on a minutes restriction, but this team is rolling. They've proven for right now. It doesn't mean they can do it in the playoffs, but they've proven for now they can obviously win without Kuminga.
Yes. Yeah. They have definitely proven that. And that might be a part of the whole scenario of them not signing him because they still feel like he can win. And you know what? And I wouldn't even doubt that they could win without him. My main thing that I was thinking about is what we just started talking about. The guys that are in front of him are long tooth in the years. Right. So at some particular point on an NBA front office, you really have to start thinking about, okay, so what are we going to do tomorrow? And tomorrow is when you don't have Steph, you don't have Draymond, you won't have JB.
Right.
What are you going to do then? And he would be that guy to what you look at.
For sure. No doubt. He's the future. It is amazing what they've been able to do with Jimmy Butler. Turned out to be the most important trade of the trade deadline season. Butler, it's not like his numbers have been amazing. He is just a guy who stabilized everything there.
Yes. And and hats off to Steve Kerr and the rest of the staff down there, because maybe that's exactly what they needed. They didn't need a guy that was going to come in there and ask for the ball and I got to have it 30-something times. I got to take this many shots. They just needed a guy that was going to come in there and make things stable. Wiggins couldn't stabilize it.
Right.
Because he was 2 up, 2 down. He had a whole bunch of things going on personally that he was dealing with. Father passed away.
Right.
Had a bunch of things going on outside of basketball that really took him off the court. So Jimmy Buckets comes here and he stabilizes that crew and they're winning.
Yeah, no doubt. And just the belief with Steph and Draymond, who have the ultimate belief anyways, but you put Butler in that mix, and then all of a sudden when you've got a power 3, that seems to be the key in the NBA when you've got that trio. It
is. And, I thought Draymond was done. I really did. I was like, Draymond Green is done. His career is folding down, and he looks terrible out there on the floor, but he has really proven me wrong. The dude is playing at a very high level again. He's knocking that shot down. He isn't the Draymond Green of old, but he's real close to where he's knocking his shot down. He always runs the good offense because it's just a Golden State way. And defensively, he's always solid.
He is always solid. And it's really the contributions they've been getting from everybody else as well that's really made a difference. I mean, the Warriors bench is pretty deep right now.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, Podziemski is playing basketball at a very high level.
Tonight.
I know he's out.
He's out
but
tonight.
I'm just saying,
yep, he has been for sure.
He's playing at a very high level. You got GP2 that's playing at a very high level. Yes. Moses Moody, he's the one that's really came in. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. And then we forgot about the guy that got hurt early on, starting 2 guard.
Who are you thinking of?
Oh, my God. The starting 2 guard that came.
Boy, I was thinking you're going to go post Santos with the big men.
No, those are the young guys that's balling. No,
we mentioned
he started.
GP2.
He got hurt early in the season.
Boy,
He started at the
must have
2.
been really early in the season.
Yeah, he got hurt very early in the
You're
season.
not thinking Klay Thompson, are you?
No,
Okay.
not that early in the season,
Okay,
Scooter.
okay. All right, we'll figure that one
I'm
out.
going to go through the roster and find
Okay,
him.
no problem. And we didn't mention Buddy Hield, who's been playing well.
Buddy Buckets is playing well for them.
Yeah, exactly. So it is a deep roster for the Warriors, and that's what the Kings will have to contend with tonight. Obviously, last time they went down there, they played one of their best games of the year. They just absolutely blew out Golden State on their home floor at Chase Center. But today, a much different situation, as the Warriors are a much different team. Golden State 37-28. The Kings are 33-31. When we come back, we'll go around the league. We'll get you caught up on all the other games going on. You've got the Lakers in Milwaukee right now, amongst some others on a Thursday night in the association. Game night being brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Check out their full line of luxury vehicles at mbofstockton.com. More of Game Night right here, Sacktown Sports 1140.
All right, we are back live on YouTube.
All right. High Flyer's still trying to figure out which guard. Who are we talking about?
I'm
Anthony?
also
Help me
trying
out.
to
Help me
figure it
here.
out. I'm trying.
He started at
the
the 2 guard, and he's hurt now. He blew his knee out.
Blew his knee
I
out.
think he blew his knee out.
All right. We're gonna figure this one out here.
Yeah, I'm trying to find someone.
Yep. All right. What else we got
Yeah.
going on in the chat?
Well, there's someone who is apparently a Warriors fan who's very excited that they got Jimmy Butler, and I'm
They
very
should
happy
be.
for them.
They should
you
be,
know?
no
Good
doubt.
for you guys.
No doubt. Jimmy Butler, it's amazing how he can influence everything. When he wants to be the good Jimmy Butler, he's one of the best players in the league. It's not just because he's such a great player. It's just because he makes everybody else better around him. And I didn't even realize that until what we're seeing right now. But obviously should have known that from what he did in Miami, taking that team to an NBA Finals. And I mean, he's got the record to back it up, Anthony.
Yeah, definitely. There was just like a weird mentality change that happened around the All-Star break with the Warriors too, where like Draymond went on being like, we're going to win a championship. Obviously, like Steph's great, but Steph wasn't playing that well at the beginning of the season compared to what he had been doing in the past.
True.
And he's come back, and obviously everyone expected that. No one thought that Steph was going to be underperforming for a whole season.
No doubt.
But it was great.
The Warriors got off to a great start, and then they went through that swoon, and I mean, they've been great again. So.
Yeah. They did go off to a great start, but it was kind of an odd start. Like watching those games, it was an interesting thing. Even in the preseason, like those shots were insane. Their shooting percentage was unbelievable at the beginning of the season, and it slowed down a little bit, but I think they just came back to earth, and now they're back in that weird, like I said, their mentality just shifted completely. And I think Jimmy Butler fit in immediately. Like he was in an interview teasing Buddy Hield. So clearly the chemistry is good if they're already making fun of each other in interviews.
They're getting their $50 million worth right now.
Yes, absolutely.
And they signed him to 2-year extension as well.
Moses Moody.
You mentioned Moody.
Moody's been playing great.
Yeah, no, Moody has been playing great. I'm sorry, you had already mentioned Moses Moody.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I at least I thought you had. If maybe I just heard that in my own mind. So, but yeah, Moody's been great for sure. Absolutely, no question there. Well, mystery solved, so that's good. What else we got going on?
We got who do we think that there's going to be any like Draymond bullying? Like, will he be bullying anyone?
Well, we already know the answer to that, of course, yes.
Yes, but someone said that JV is going to shut it down.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Like to see a little fight. I
wouldn't mind seeing JV not back down.
Yeah. Not a fight, but a little.
No, we don't need a fight out there. We don't need suspensions or anything like that.
Nothing like that. We can't afford that.
But the thing of it is, Draymond's been, the good Draymond this year. He really has not gotten in any trouble. And that's the other key, right? I mean, last year, the Warriors were such a mess. It's because Draymond was never on the floor before he did pack it up.
Yeah, absolutely. We got about 10 seconds before we're back.
Welcome back into Game Night right now. Sacktown Sports 1140. Game Night being brought to you by the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Sacramento. a great organization in our hometown here. If you're looking to do something good, help a child out who could use an outside mentor in their life, please check out Big Brothers Big Sisters. Go to bbbs-sac.org. Get all the information, bbbs-sac.org. All right, let's go around the league. We'll focus in on the matchup with the Warriors in our next segment. We'll get you the Ginger and Hammer injury report as well. We'll get to your phone calls as well, 916-339-1140. We mentioned De'Aaron Fox. He's going to shut it down. He's going to have finger surgery on that pinky next Tuesday in L.A. It looks like also Paul George is about ready to shut things down. I mean, the 76ers have been shut down for a long time already. Embiid is done. Maxi's out. And it looks like Paul George is going to consult with the doctors on the treatment options for his knee injury, the groin, lots of things going on there for Philly. A season that just never got off the ground, High Flyer.
It's tough. I mean, very, very tough. I don't know. Like I asked you before, I don't know who I feel worse for. The 76ers or the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, both of these teams were championship or bust. Yep. You know, they really thought that they had something going on. They had enough to make it happen. And then all of a sudden injuries hit, and man, they've been seriously derailed.
They have been seriously derailed. Some sad news out of Milwaukee. The Bucks are playing right now, by the way, and they're leading the Lakers 83-70. The Lakers still without LeBron. They're trying to prove if they can hold on without the king on the floor. The Bucks are wearing patches on their jerseys for the rest of the season, honoring minority owner Junior Bridgman, who passed away Tuesday at the age of 71. Yeah. That's a really sad story. Junior Bridgman is one of the great stories in NBA history in terms of his success from on the floor to off the floor. This guy is one of the great entrepreneurs in America.
You know, people really didn't understand. I mean, and he flew under the radar about what he did. I'm talking over 400 restaurants under his belt, and then went on to sell those and start distributing Pepsi. I mean, and how he did it, Scott, this is the cool thing. You know, he went into, you know, very privileged spots and bought up these restaurants, and then he would go out and hire ex-convicts. He would go out and hire people.
Just doing such great in the community.
Right. You know, guys who would, you know, come out of jail and couldn't find jobs and would hire those people. And even sometimes, Scott, when they slipped back and went back to jail, and he was the one that was going and bailing them out, trying to help them out and in the community. So he was a great dude.
Just a wonderful human being. And it's amazing. He had a 10% stake in the Bucks. He bought that last year.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the Forbes billionaire list. Yes. So, you know, of course, when we think about the NBA billionaires, we think of the Magics and the LeBrons.
You would have never thought about Junior Bridgman.
Now, the most he ever made in a contract was $300,000.
Oh yeah. I mean, the money wasn't like that back then.
No. But boy, did he make something amazing.
And you know what,
Scooter?
Scooter?
His life.
It wasn't Moses Moody who I was thinking about. I looked him up.
Okay, I was going to say, you mentioned Moody, so
DeAnthony Milton.
Oh, Milton, yes. Thank you.
Yes.
You're right. He got off to a great start.
Right. DeAnthony Milton is the one that they're really missing because he was balling at the beginning of the year.
He was, and then they ended up trading him because he was injured.
Right.
Yeah, you're right, though. That's a great point. When I think of Milton, though, I think of him more as a point guard. I think maybe that's why I was a little.
I said he started with Steph.
He did. You're right.
Yeah, he
right.
started with Steph.
You're right. You're absolutely right. No, you that's the right call right there. So, all right, mystery solved. So we appreciate that one. How about last night, the Thunder beating the Celtics?
Ooh, watch out.
The Thunder are
rolling.
Preview.
Is that a statement game?
I think so. I think it is.
To let you know, we understand y'all the champs, but it's a new sheriff in town.
No doubt. I mean, impressive, right? They win 118 to 112. SGA, 34 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds.
Are we looking at the MVP?
I feel like the MVP's wrapped up.
Are we looking at a new MVP?
I think we are. Even the 30-20-20 game, not enough for the Joker. Even if he averages a triple-double, I don't think he's getting it this year.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Because SGA is the man.
And the scoreboard's just too great. I mean, the Thunder are just rolling away with the West right now. They have a 12-game lead in the Western Conference.
12 game.
12 games
Can
over
Trip
the Nuggets
wait? Can
and the
Trip,
Grizz.
can Trip and fall and still be okay?
Absolutely. They're like about 5-6 games away from wrapping up the Western Conference.
Now, we know the only thing that can stop them, knock on wood, and hopefully it don't happen.
Injuries, don't say it.
If SGA goes down,
Yeah, don't say that.
can they still be that exact same
Of
team?
course not. Of course not. I mean, they've got a lot of pieces. They've survived without Chet Holmgren. They're not surviving without SGA, though.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. You know, when you have a good basketball team, because we felt the same way for a long time with Memphis. If Ja Morant goes down, Memphis is done.
True.
They found ways to still win
It's true.
without Ja Morant. So I'm wondering, can OKC do the same thing if need be?
Let's put it this way. They can still be competitive. There's no way they can win a championship without SGA.
Okay, now I will give you that.
Yeah, I think that's the defining line. How far do you think we can go without SGA? There's no way they're going to get that done. Let's see. Or some other news going around the league, mainly just injury stuff. We don't need to go through this. Ivy returning for the season for the Pistons. We've got all of that. That's great. Let's go through some of the games that are going on in the association.
I was about to say, how about this?
Yeah.
Can the Lakers hold on?
Right now, they don't look like they can. I mean, LeBron.
I'm saying until LeBron comes back, because like right now, they're in the what? Second or third spot?
They're in the fourth spot.
Oh, so they're in the fourth, so they dropped.
Yeah.
So, you know, if LeBron don't come back soon, they looking at fifth.
Could the Rockets catch them?
Yeah. Right. Maybe sixth.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
can they hold on?
They're 40-23. So if you look at the Western Conference right now, they're 2 games up on the Rockets. They're 5 games up on the Warriors. I don't think the Warriors can catch them. Maybe. I mean, unless they kept playing at this just horrid play.
I about to say, but they've been balling so far. They have been,
no doubt about it.
Right.
I mean, the Lakers have still won 8 of their last 10, but they are trending the other way right now without LeBron, and they've got a lot of games here before he comes back. So that's going to be tough for them to do. There's just no doubt about that one. Let's look at the games going on today. You've got the Pistons and the Wizards. That's late in the fourth. We talked about the Bucks and the Lakers. Milwaukee's certainly playing a lot better as well. Nets and Bulls. How about the Pelicans? They're getting blown out by Orlando, but they gave Phoenix a really bad loss last time too.
Gave Phoenix everything they can handle, and Zion Williamson
triple dub
looked like the guy that we always thought he could be.
Yeah, and the Suns just keep melting, right? They're 30-36 on the outside looking in. The Mavs may be able to hold off the Suns.
Now, what are they going to do? Because, you know, the Suns didn't put this team together to say, okay, we're fighting for a play-in.
No.
This was a basketball team. I mean, kind of like Philly and in Dallas. This was a basketball team that was supposed to be the la creme de la creme. Yeah. And people were talking about, well, maybe Phoenix is going to be able to come out the West.
Exactly.
Not even close.
Not even close. And they've been fairly healthy now, too.
And I can see if they're where the Lakers are. You know, they was in second for a while and injuries hit. They rolled down the fourth or maybe fifth.
They were never there.
Not even close.
No.
Not even close. So how long do they ride this?
I think until the end of the season, and then they're going to blow that up.
They're going to blow it up?
They got to blow it up.
KD,
anybody's got to go, right? I mean, you know, so their owner is not patient.
So here's the deal.
Yep.
If you're a Kevin Durant, where do you go? Because he already said he don't want to go back to Golden State.
Right.
Where do you go? Do you go back to Brooklyn? Where do you go?
He doesn't. I mean, with that salary and his age, it's going to be tough to go any place.
Yeah.
You know, the one place he might, you know, if it weren't for the team there, the place he might be interested in going is Washington. That's where he's from. But the Wizards are so terrible. That's not going to happen.
He's definitely not going there.
You know, he played college ball at Texas. Could he go to the Rockets? Could he? I mean,
or the Spurs?
I don't know if the Spurs could afford him. Could they?
I don't know.
Can you imagine Fox, Durant, and Wemby on the same team?
But he got to go somewhere.
He's got to go somewhere. That's for sure. I don't think it stays in Phoenix.
Mm-mm.
There's no chance. And that whole thing with Bradley Beal, it just never worked out. They thought that'd be the big three: Beal, Booker, and Durant, and that just never panned out.
I mean, and it really feels like Bradley Beal never got it going.
Yeah.
But it feels like they just lost Book. Where has Book been this whole season?
Yeah, he's not having the same year he's had before.
Not at all.
No.
The Spurs can't afford Kevin Durant. I checked.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think that was possible. But it's always fun to play around with it. Anyways.
I mean, I'm just wondering because you know Kevin Durant, he isn't going to go to a team that's not relevant.
Right. Oh, no, he's got to go to a championship team.
Okay, and then which championship team going to be able to afford him?
Nobody. I mean, I don't know who's on that list right now. We'd have to pull up who's got a lot of cap space. But if a team has a lot of cap space, it's because they're not a championship caliber team.
Right. Or would he take a pay cut?
That's interesting. There's a lot of things he'll have to consider. They could keep him trying to get rid of everybody else and build that around. But right now,
I don't think stand for a rebuild.
I agree.
That ain't gonna work.
I don't think so either. All right, it's the Kings and the Warriors nationally televised game. TNT is in the house for this one. When we come back, we'll get you to our Ginger and Hammer injury report. We'll break this one down. It's the fourth and final matchup. It's a big one tonight. Kings need a win to kind of keep themselves right there in that number 9 spot with a chance, hopefully, to move up in the standings and to keep the tiebreaker against the Golden State Warriors. Game night being brought to you by our good friends at Power Business Technology. Experience for yourself how the Power of Family can help you with all your business copy or needs. Give them a call today, 1-844-POWER-BZ, or go to powercopiers.com. More of Game Night right here, Sacktown Sports, 1140.
All right, we are back live on YouTube.
All right. What do we got rolling?
Well, I had something interesting. You guys were talking about the SGA MVP race and how they beat the Celtics. Did you see that Converse put a projector of his logo on the TD Garden after they won?
Ooh, I didn't see that. No.
Huge logo and on a skyscraper in Boston.
Wow.
The same day that the new Celtics show put a giant
City.
Yeah, they put a giant ad on a giant skyscraper in LA. That said 18 banners.
Wow.
So advertising's getting weird in basketball right now.
People are inflicting on other markets. Yeah. I tell you what, that Celtic City's really good.
Is it? I haven't watched
the first 2 episodes. Very good.
I heard
if you'd like, want to know about the history of Boston, you got to watch this.
I heard it was similar, or it was made by the same people who made The Last Dance.
Yeah, it's Bill Simmons.
Okay, awesome. Sweet.
And he's the best.
He's always,
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Great stuff.
He is. In the chat room, somebody's throwing out KD to South Beach. Miami, maybe that's a spot, potentially.
Yeah, none of them can afford him straight up because of how huge his contract is. But another thing about him going to the Warriors, after he said he didn't want to go back to the Warriors, he just said he didn't want to get traded mid-season.
Yeah.
Is what I heard about the Warriors.
Well, the KD to the Warriors is over now with Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, definitely.
That is done. But what about High Flyer being thrown out there, KD to South Beach?
Oh,
that's the one place that's kind of interesting. Get with Spoelstra, Pat Riley. They've got a winning culture.
Yeah. Good match.
Mm-hmm.
Good match.
Possible.
That's it. Interesting.
Yeah.
Minnesota was thrown out as well.
I don't know how Ant and you got Randall. I mean, what kind of blockbuster deal would you put together for that? And, I mean, they'd figure it out. And Anthony, his idol is Kevin Durant. So, like, if you put those two together, that'd be interesting.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What would it take to get him here?
Oh, man.
A lot.
It
would take a lot.
Yes. I mean, you'd move off DeRozan for sure. Could you keep Zach in that scenario? How many number ones are we talking about?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's not like the dude is just totally fell off his game.
No. He's still playing.
He's the one player that has been solid for them.
He's still playing at an all-star level.
Right.
For sure.
So you got to, I mean, any team is going to want a lot for him.
To make the money work, you would have to get rid of Sabonis or Levine on top of getting rid of DeRozan.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's no other way you could pull that one off.
Yeah, because he's breaking the bank.
He is breaking that bank. That is for sure. All right, what else going on in the chat?
Just some people talking about Kevin Durant. You know how it goes when you bring up Kevin Durant. But we got about 10 seconds.
The Lakers down by 20 now.
Ooh!
There you go.
4 seconds.
They were just giving them a run.
They were. Welcome back to the Game Night right here, Sacktown Sports 1140. Game Night being brought to you by our good friends at Howard Gumbo. Again, open Thursday through Sunday. They're open right now. If you're driving home, head over there, drop off, get yourself some gumbo for dinner tonight.
No doubt. Sounds good. I might be headed over there for getting me a catfish platter. Larry, I'm coming, baby.
Close to the station, 2120 Marconi Avenue, right here in Sacramento. All right, Lakers getting blown out now. They're down 20. That one is over. So the Lakers struggling without LeBron. They're 15-17 away from home. They'll be 40-24. All right, time to focus Kings, Warriors. Let's get updated on the Gingery and Hammer injury report. And for that, Anthony, take it away.
All right, for the Kings, Jake LaRavia and Trey Lyles are available. They were questionable going into today, and Sabonis remains out, and Mason Jones is down in the G League. And
by the way, before you finish, did you see that play yesterday with Mason Jones in the G League with Scalabissiere?
I did not. I saw the Scalabissiere.
It made SportsCenter top 10.
Really?
So it was one of the plays. Do you remember when De'Aaron threw it off the rim in Minnesota?
Yes.
And got the bucket, right? To tie it up. So the Stockton Kings were down 3, 1.8 to go. Mason Jones at the line. He throws a rocket off the rim, races in, gets the rebound in midair, turns 180, throws to the corner for Labissiere, lights up a 3-ball, drills it. That game goes to overtime. It was the perfect play off a missed free throw. And
I'm going to tell you what, you probably can throw that ball off the rim 50 times.
Not make that happen.
And probably get it right once.
It was the perfect play. And it's interesting because, Mason and Scal were both here on Monday night. They flew to Birmingham, played with the Kings who were playing the Birmingham G League team last night. So good stuff. Check that out. That was fun. Sorry, Anthony, I interrupted you.
No problem. For the Warriors, Kuminga will be on a minutes restriction, as we talked about earlier, about 20 minutes. I believe, and Gary Payton II is available. Brandon Pajemski is out.
Payton's got a broken nose. He's playing with the
mask.
He's
got the mask on. So
he's not the glove.
Yeah,
he's the mask.
He's the mask.
How fun is it to see Gary Payton at all these games? I love it. First of all, I just love anybody who's a proud dad, and that's what he is, watching his son play. Right, but he's got the moxie. It's just you can tell he's one of those guys that every other player just totally respects this guy.
GP.
And you know him well.
You know him well.
You tell me more about him than I can.
Gary's my dude. He is the epitome to a throwback player, and it's one of those things to where he's going to respect your game if it needs respecting. Him and Draymond go at it all the time.
Right.
But they love each other.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Two of the best trash talkers in the history of the league.
Yes, all the time. And then, but GP2 is kind of on the different side. He's kind of like his mom, Monique. He's quiet.
Yeah.
He will talk trash, but he's more so just lay back, kick back. You're going to hear Gary as soon as you walk in the arena. Yeah,
absolutely. He's ready to roll. How about Keegan starting to talk a little trash?
I love
that, man.
I love it. Whenever Keegan starts to show a little personality out there, talks a little trash, I love it.
I love it too. Speaking of Keegan, who does he match up tonight against? Does he get Jimmy buckets? Is he on Steph? Where are we going?
See, that's the big question. Because for me, how are the Kings going to start? How are the Warriors going to start?
Right.
Are the Warriors going to start small ball? If they start small ball, I say Kings start small. You put Keon Ellis in the lineup.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Valanciunas goes to the bench. Keegan goes to the 5, but he guards buckets.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
DeMar guards Green.
Okay.
Right? And then Keon Ellis guards Steph.
Okay. All right. We'll see how they played. I mean, obviously the Warriors are playing small ball right now, and they're playing well, obviously.
Right. It just depends upon how well, who they start out with.
Yeah. That'd be interesting to see how these teams match up tonight. There's no doubt about it. All right, Tin, you've been waiting very patiently. We appreciate that. How are you tonight, my friend?
Good, Scott Marsh. I have something to share.
Let's hear it.
So I just learned that DeMar DeRozan has been trained by hip-hop legend Master P since he was in 7th grade. And Master P also worked alongside with Lance Stevenson and also one more that's slipping my mind.
That's all right.
But
you got Lance.
What I wanted to get into is a slam dunk before the national game against Golden State. Henry Turner, what do you think of your good friend Gary Payton speaking the introduction just before NBA All-Star Weekend? That's a cool honor, and that must feel good to have a friend in that power.
You know, it's always cool, to have one of your friends do something like that. And I'm like this. I thought it was rightfully so. Everybody knows that really Gary and Jason are pretty much the mayors of Oakland when you start talking about, NBA basketball. Both of those guys are first ballot Hall of Famers. Both of those guys are in the top 10 point guards probably ever to play the game. So to have him come out and be able to, just talk at All-Star Weekend was big.
Yeah, no doubt. The one thing I would have loved to have been at All-Star Weekend, if there's one event I would have really have liked to have been at, would have been that breakfast on Sunday when they had, everybody there. They had TMC. I mean, they had Peyton. They had all the old-time Warrior greats. That would have been a lot of fun.
No doubt. I mean, just the creme de la creme of Northern California basketball.
Yeah.
And you can always throw Mitch in there because Mitch was a Golden State Warrior and he was the Sacramento King. So, we had a little bit of representation there with him.
No doubt.
But I'm with you. Just to see all these greats, man, in one place at one time and hear the stories. The stories is what make it.
No doubt. Speaking of Mitch, why has DeMar developed Mitchitis here?
He steps on that line every time.
Yes.
He has the Mitch Richmond toe.
He does.
I have no idea. Maybe it's a Sacramento thing because I'm like, it didn't seem like he did that very much in Chicago.
I mean, he's the ultimate mid-game player. I get that. But boy, how many points have the Kings missed out on this year?
I mean, just that one game, it was 3.
Exactly. 3 points the Kings could have desperately used.
Yeah, because we lost by 1.
Exactly. And again, it just makes you, it's so interesting. Players get into their habits, their rituals, what they're comfortable with, right?
Right. And, the one thing about DeMar, too, is that you really have to give the dude a pass because he really wasn't a guy that would just straight up lace it from 3.
No, not at all. Yep.
I mean, he was king of the midi committee.
Yep.
So now he's pulling up 3 and, just stepping on the line every blue moon. You got to give him a pass, man, because that's really not what he used to do.
No, it's not his thing. All right, a couple minutes here. Final thoughts on tonight. We know it's a huge, huge, huge game for the Kings tonight.
Yeah, it is. By any means necessary, Sacramento has to be able to come out and galvanize and win. The loss against New York was heartbreaking. The loss against LA.
That was really heartbreaking.
Was even more
devastating.
Yes. So at the end of the day, man, they got to get a W. If they want to stay out of that 9-10 situation, they got to win. It's nothing more, nothing less, just straight up W's.
One thing they can't let Steph Curry do is get his 4,000th three-pointer.
Oh, he gonna get that. He only got 2 to go.
I know. It's coming.
He gonna get that in layup line.
It's coming. It's coming. He's already got the best pregame workout going on right now at Chase Center. He's getting ready to go tonight. The Kings are as well. Big night for TNT as well. Kings and Warriors lock it up for the final time here in the regular season. It's always great to work with you, High Flyer. Have a great call tonight. All right, coming up next, Kings Live pregame. Jason Ross is coming in for that. 7 o'clock tip tonight in the Bay. Kings and Warriors. We have you covered all evening long. Sacramento going for win number 34 and to get the tiebreaker versus Golden State. Keep it tuned here all evening long. Kings basketball right here. Sacktown Sports 1140.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores.